Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and today I have a if I could only keep one type of video. So this video prompt, I guess, was recommended by one of you guys. So I appreciate you guys for always dropping things in the comments for me to do, which I actually had another one that I just found that I kind of want to do that topic during a like chatty get ready with me. But this had been kind of on my radar to do a video like this of actually going back through my spreadsheets and even looking at products that I have previously used up to completion and seeing what is my top of the top. What would I repurchase? What do I want to keep in my collection? And so if you want to see my what would I keep of one thing in each category, go ahead and stick around. We're going to get into that right now. So I have been diligently tracking my inventory since 2021. So that's how far my spreadsheets go back with the things that I have used up, panned, brought in, all of that jazz. So I have a pretty good understanding of the last 21, 22, 23, 24, and then so the last 5 years of the products that I've used. And with my mindset shift to being more conscious of my consumerism, conscious of my collection and the items that I'm bringing in, I think that I've done a pretty good job of narrowing down my collection to the things that work for me and the things that I love. Now, there's going to be multiple things in certain categories because those products do different things throughout the actual routine, and I'll explain that whenever I get there, but we will definitely look through each different category. So if we're starting from the very beginning on my spreadsheets, we're going to start with primers, and this one should be a no-brainer for anyone, but it's going to be the e.l.f. Jelly Pop. And I actually saw these out in the wild. Like, I saw a display of these at Target the other day, and I had to hold myself back from purchasing more because I know that they only come out, e.l.f. does bring these back pretty much every year, but currently I'm working on number 12 and I have through number 20 in my collection. So I have plenty of these, but the mindset of e.l.f. does discontinue these and then bring them back and discontinue these and bring them back. I don't ever want to be without this. So this is going to be my number one pick. I love this. To give a little bit of context, if you are new to my channel or just finding me through this video, I am going to be 41 in a couple weeks. And I live in a very hot and humid climate, and I do have oily skin. So when I'm talking about these products, I am looking at it from a standpoint of I do have larger pores, I am oily, I live in a hot climate, and I do have wrinkles to deal with. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with a lot of these products. But let's just say hypothetically that the e.l.f. Jelly Pop was no longer around anymore. I really don't feel like I would go back to the e.l.f. Hydro Grip. I feel like that's just different. So I don't even think that that would be a contender. I really don't know. I think at that point, I would be trying other gripping primers on the market. So I would probably go for a one size or something like that kind of gripping primer. I don't like the, I've used up a couple of the Milk Makeup gripping ones, but still I would want something a little bit different. So if this wasn't around, I probably would be on the market and testing out a whole lot more gripping primers. But since I have plenty of these, I am not worried. So for the foundation category, this is where I'm not necessarily going to say I'm only keeping one because one is a utility item and the other one is my coverage product. So the thing that I will always have in my collection is going to be my Misha BB cream. And this is my one that is almost done. I've already repurchased. I think the repurchased one is my fourth one. I love this to mix in with my more matte foundations, especially during the winter months, actually all year round, but during the winter months so they're not as matte and flat. But during the summertime, I do need more of that matte finish. Plus, the gray tone of this product really does tone down my foundations to be like a perfect skin tone for me. So this is like an item that I would always need as a foundation mixer because it's just, I've come to rely on it so much. But if I was going to say I was only going to keep one foundation, it would not be any of the ones that I have right now. So right now I have the Fenty Eavesdrop, I have the Urban Decay Face Bond, and then I do have an IT Cosmetics CC cream that I purchased during the last 21 Days of Beauty in March. And it's not even that one. I think it would be a toss-up between the Estee Lauder Double Wear and the NARS Soft Matte Complete. I think the only reason, so for a little bit of context, I used up the Estee Lauder Double Wear back in, actually at the beginning of this year, so 2025. The NARS Soft Matte Complete, I used that up in 2023. So I've used both of those products to completion, and actually the NARS foundation was on sale at Sephora, but my shade, which is Yukon, sold out. So I was not able to pick that up 50% off because otherwise I would have. I think that if my feet were held to the fire and they were like, you can only choose one foundation, I would go with the NARS Complete Matte. Mainly because you get more product for probably less than what the Double Wear. I almost feel like the NARS foundation, it has a little bit more coverage, even though it's really, really matte, and that's where something like this would come in to kind of cut down on that coverage. But you just get so much product in the NARS foundation that would make it a better buy and a more likely for me to be my holy grail, just because of the amount for the money. So I think we would be looking at Misha BB Cream and then, picture, because I don't have it, but the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation would be it. As far as my actual mixers category, right now the only two things that I have in there is my Say Glowy Super Gel. Did I get it right this time? Glowy Super Gel. I got it right. So I have it in Star Glow. I think that this is going to be my repurchase for my glowy foundation mix-in. I do have the e.l.f., where is it? Right there. The e.l.f. Halo Glow and Tan, just to tan up my chest or to darken my foundations. So I think that I would have like something for a light glow and then something to adjust my foundation shades. I think that in this category I would need one light and one dark, just depending on where I am with my skin tone, especially because I have been experimenting a little bit more with self-tanning. So I think that this is where I'm at. Where I have my categories right now, that's where I want to be. Those are the products that I love. So definitely when the VIB sale rolls around, this is going to be a repurchase for me. Now let's look at powders. So this is probably not going to be surprising to anyone because this has been a holy grail powder for a very long time. Let me clean off my lid. But that is the Nakia Joy Velvet Finishing Powder. So I used to watch a lot of Nakia Joy's content. I haven't really been watching a lot of her content recently, but she has oily skin. She was in like her 30s, so she had maybe not that 30s needs to be mature skin. Good Lord. But she did have more pores and oil, and like she had stuff that needed to be reckoned with on her face. So she didn't have like 20-year-old baby skin. And so I really did trust her products, and I have loved her powders. I think that right now so this is number 7 that I've used up, and I have 8 and 9 already in backup that I bought last year during Black Friday. So I have plenty of her powders. So the fact that I have purchased 9 of them, plus a couple of her pressed powders. That just goes to show that this is really where I want to be with my powders. And right now I am using the Kosas Cloud Set as my under eye powder, but even at that point, this does do a beautiful job at setting your under eyes if you go a little bit more light-handed on it. And so I think that even if I had just this one powder in my collection, I'd be happy for the rest of my life. It does have a beautiful vanilla scent to it, and it is just wonderful. And she does also have it in a pink formula, which I have gone through one of the loose pink powders before in the past. So I just trust this formula. So it's going to have to be the Nakia Joy powder for me. As far as concealers, so this is going to be a category where I actually have 3 because each one does a different thing, but they're all in my concealer spreadsheet. Words, Erin. Before logging on and getting this to work, my program that makes my camera be a monitor on my computer, it wasn't working again and it wasn't connecting, and I had to uninstall the entire program, reinstall it, restart my computer like 14 times. I don't understand, and I better not have to do this every single time I sit down to film, because at that point I might just have to get like an external monitor to plug into, but I don't want another piece of equipment in here. Like, it's already bad enough that the dogs have to like walk around my setup because I just leave it up nowadays. Since I don't work from home anymore, I just leave my setup up. I don't put it away anymore. But the amount of stress that I went through the 10 minutes before I turned on the camera. Okay, I can breathe. Concealer. So, like I said, I have 3 different ones. We will start with my NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I do have this in 2.5 Creme Brulee. Yes, light 2.5. And this is a pot concealer. It is a matte concealer. And when I had more issues with acne, this was a godsend. Now, I think also because I have not had as much issues with acne since I've been on my medicine, this I could easily see as a lighter coverage type of foundation product. So I might actually start using this as a foundation here and there because it does have beautiful coverage. And so if I was struggling with acne still, this would be my #1 pick. And even to cover the dark spots that are left behind after your acne heals, this was wonderful for it. So I always, always, always have one of the soft matte concealers. My other one is my eye brightener, and that's going to go to my Bobbi Brown. What is this actually? The corrector stick. I do have it in light bisque. This is the 2nd stick that I've gone through, but the 3rd Bobbi Brown corrector. So I did the pot, and then I've done one of the sticks, and this is my 2nd stick. And it's just a light pink corrector. And so this is what I will use on my under eyes. I do only use it kind of in an L shape right here to brighten up my under eyes. So I always do have a corrector because I do have some blue, purple under eye things going on. Now, as far as an overall under eye, face, everything concealer, it's going to have to go to the Natasha Denona High Glam. And I'm curious. Okay, so I picked this up in August. So you guys will see this in my buys and buys, which will be my next video. But I did pick up RN 2.5. So I had talked to you guys about how R2 was too light and R4 was too dark. And you guys were like, well, there's an RN 2.5. And I was like, say no more. So I went ahead and I picked up RN 2.5 from Sephora at the end of August. And I love this concealer. Obviously, I have gone through 2 of these already. So I've gone through R2, I've gone through R4. This is my 3rd one. I know a lot of people necessarily don't like this because it is a thicker formula, but for me, that's what makes it last and that's what makes it work. It's also not super dry, so it doesn't leave my thinner under eye skin looking crepey. So I do love, 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 love this concealer. So obviously, if I've gone through two of them and I repurchased, that is an ultimate love, and that would be the one overall face cream liquid concealer that I would keep. But let me actually look, because I think beyond, I've gone through a couple of the Bobbi Brown sticks. I've gone through a couple of the NARS Soft Mattes. I have gone through a couple of the Natasha Denona High Glams. Beyond that, I would say the next concealer that I have gone through the majority, like the most of, would actually be the e.l.f. Camo concealers. So I've gone through quite a few of the Hydro ones, and I actually do have another one of the Hydro ones that I mixed in with my Estee Lauder concealer to make it work for me. So that's also a drugstore price, because there's some categories that I go high end on, and a lot of times it is my complexion. I just feel like I trust high-end formulas more for my complexion, but for like foundations, concealers, powders, things like that, I'm going to go more high-end than for some other categories that are in my collection. But I think that the e.l.f. Hydro Concealer, because I think I've gone through 3 of those in the past, that would be my runner-up for a drugstore formula, that if I had to only pick one formula from the drugstore, that would be that one. I do have my SPFs in this lineup in my spreadsheets. This is probably going to be the only skincare product that I talk about, because skincare is super specific to what your needs are. But I think that this is going to be the sunscreen that I repurchased from here on out, and that's the Eye This is the Centella Calming Daily Sunscreen SPF 50. This is going to be what I will purchase from here on out. It is a beautiful formula. It doesn't leave me greasy. It sinks in. It's beautiful. It feels moisturizing. Like, it's SPF 50, which again, living in Florida, I need that sun protection. This is going to be it. And I end up getting this for $16 on Amazon. So, can't beat it. And I end up getting 60 fluid ounces, which this thing will last me for months. And I actually feel like I can put on the appropriate amount of sunscreen with this one without, again, feeling like a complete grease ball. It also, like, if I'm sweating, if I just wear this on its own and I'm sweating, it doesn't burn my eyes. So, I do love, love, love that formula. Let me go ahead. I am done with this tray here that had these products in it. Let me put this tray to the side, bring my next one up, and we will roll into my, if I could only pick one, brow products. So y'all can deal with my little cubbies being behind me. So again, with brows, we have multiple products, because I do use multiple products in my brows, because my brows are thick and my brows are unruly. So we are going to look at my brow items. So I have 4 things set out here, but I consistently use 3 items in my brows every single time. So I know I could cut that down to 2 items, but I do need a brow gel that holds my brows in place, because I do have long, bushy eyebrows that end up looking like mad scientist. And also my brows are lighter than my hair, because I do dye my hair darker than my natural hair color. So I need a color product and I need a hold product. So what I'm using right now, and what I think is an amazing bang for your buck, is the Benefit Precisely something something Give Me Brow Volumizing Pencil. So obviously it is a sharpenable pencil. Look at what we're down to on this thing. This nub is almost like extremely difficult for me to actually use, but I am curious how far down I can actually get this before I'm like, look, I can't use this anymore. So this is the brow product that I have been using for over a year. Over a year. So the last brow pencil that I used up was in May of 2024. So I have been using this pencil since the middle of May 2024, and we are still going. So if your brows can handle a thicker pencil like the ones that you have to sharpen, this is going to be biggest bang for your buck. Now, if you would prefer the colors from ABH, ABH also has their own. This is the ABH Perfect Brow, and I have gone through 2 of these. This is my 3rd one. So these also take me about a year to go through. So, and I always do get my brow products on Brow Day, which is like the first day or 2 of October, where I get these 50% off. Do not buy your brow products full price, please. So I usually stock up for the year when I'm looking at Brow Day. So these sharpenable pencils are where it is at for me. And again, if you have thicker brows, I know people that have thinner brows or more sparse brows, you need more of that delicate tip of like creating brow hairs for yourself. And I get that. That's just not what I need for my brows. It is this, and I will continue. Actually, I have this one, which I need to go through, and then I have a full another one of these. So I have 2.5 years of brow pencils in my collection right now. As far as for a colored brow gel, I do love the e.l.f. Wow Brow, and I get it in like brunette or something like that. And so this is just a beautiful little brow gel. It has this tiny, tiny wand on it, which really gets in there and coats, again, the hairs, because my brows are lighter than my hair color. So this helps to tint the brow hair and make it look less blonde. And then as far as my hold product, oh, and again, you can't beat this for $5. And that's full price. So you can always find e.l.f. on a deal. So $5 for this, can't beat it. As far as my hold product, I have not found anything that works as good for my brows than the 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. Again, I picked these up during Brow Day. I did pick up 3 of them last year, and this is the number 2. I have a full one still left in there, so I'll probably only pick up 2 during this Brow Day, but I get these 50% off during Brow Day. It has this amazing little comb on it that has longer bristles on one side, shorter bristles on the other. It just has a really strong hold gel. Now, I don't mind if my brows are crunchy. I actually need my brows to be crunchy so that they don't move. But I don't think that it leaves them looking unnatural. And also, I don't like the like laminated look, so I don't stick them to my skin. My brows just look like they're behaving, but they are crunchy, so they are locked down. I don't like the more waxy, flexible ones because my brow hairs just end up going wild. So I need that crunch. This is that crunch. So I do love this. So that would be my only pick one, even though we're looking at 4 products right here. But for the 3 items, it's going to be a sharpenable brow type of pencil, the e.l.f. Wow Brow, and the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. Those are going to be my brow picks. Now, for blush, I actually was surprised at how easy it was for me to pick this item. And I looked at all of my I looked at all of my blush items, and I even kind of thought about like my liquid blushes that I just started trying and things like that. And like I said, it was so easy for me to pick this. But I'm going to have to give it to the Clinique Cheek Pop blushes. I think that this formula is so beautiful and so forgiving. I'm actually wearing this. So this is in Heather Pop. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today. It just leaves a beautiful flush to the cheeks. They have so many beautiful colors that I wouldn't mind the Black Honey shade in this blush. I would love, love, love to have that one. And they're a beautiful, almost like cream to powder formula. I don't know if it's necessarily baked, but it's like a gelée. So it's kind of, I think it is an actual gelée formula, but between the gelée formula and just the way that it goes on, like I feel like you can't overdo it with these. The colors are beautiful, the finish is beautiful, they last a really long time, and like I said, they're nice and compact. The packaging is sturdy, like the packaging hasn't cracked on me. And when did I purchase this? I've had this blush since 2021. And it's still, the packaging looks beautiful. So I think that these are fabulous. And now that I've actually like brought this to my own attention, like all these other blushes that I'm kind of like looking at and lusting over, maybe I just need to get the Black Honey shade. If that's where, if this is the formula that I would only keep one, and really even this shade, like I think that this shade is beautiful for my skin tone. Like I feel like this would go with everything, even though it is like cool toned. I feel like if I put the bronzer, like if I put bronzer on top of this, I could warm it up. Like I could make this work. But as far as formula wise, if I could only pick one formula, it's going to have to be the Clinique Cheek Pop blushes. But let me look at bronzers with you guys. So the Holy Grail, and actually, let me show you what it is and then I will explain. I'm getting ahead of myself. But the Soul Body Cream Bronzer. And so I do have this in light, and this is the one that I'm almost done with. So I'll show you the inside of mine here. First and foremost, I always get these on sale. So I got these for $7.50, so that's half price. And you get 31 grams of product. I think the last time that I looked, it takes me like 200 and something, 300 uses to get through one of these. So for $7.50, absolutely. This shade is also really, really beautiful. And actually, I bronzed up my shoulder and my chest a little bit because my self-tan is wearing off. So, I mean, it is a beautiful, seamless shade for me, the light shade. And even though it looks really orange in there, like it does not come off that orange on the skin. I absolutely love this, to the point that this is number 5. Now think about what I just said, that it takes like 250, 300 uses to get through one of these. This is number 5 that I've been through, and I have number 6 and 7 already in backup. So obviously this is going to be my top pick for a cream bronzer. Now, when I think about my powder bronzers, so my powder bronzers, for the longest time, I think leading up to last year, all of my powder bronzers were Frankens. It was just me mixing my bronzers together, repressing them, trying to get them done. Like, that's how it was up through 2023. In 2024, I started working on my Juvia's Place bronzers, so that duo. And actually, I would go back to that duo. The light one lasted me for 6 months. The warm toned one lasted me for a year. So even in that duo, that is a year and a half of bronzer for $6.50 times 2, so $13 for a year and a half of bronzer. So I think that there's ways to get good quality powder bronzers now, and right now I'm just working through what I have. Right now I'm using the NARS Laguna bronzer, and it is beautiful, but it's not something that I was like, I want to pay $42 for that for the rest of my life as my only bronzer. So I think for powder bronzer, I don't know, because I haven't really... I've been working through what I have. I'm very curious how I'm going to feel about the Too Faced Milk Chocolate bronzer when I'm done with Laguna, but we will have to see. But I think that even if I was only using a cream bronzer, I would be okay with this too. So for bronzer, I'm going to say this one, and then I guess dealer's choice for powder bronzer, because I really, really don't know. Same goes for the highlighter, because I frankened all my highlighters together back in 2024. So I don't really have a standard highlighter formula right now. Even though back in the day when I did have just the Tarte highlighter palette, that was beautiful, but I don't know what Tarte's highlighter formula looks like right now. But I just have been enjoying my regular highlighters, so I do not know. I cannot speak to highlighters because of how my collection is and how my highlighters are right now. Now, with setting sprays, I will say that if I only had to buy one setting spray for the rest of my life, it would be the e.l.f. Dewy Coconut Setting Spray. I love this stuff. Again, even though I am oily skinned, I don't want to look dry and matte when I'm done with my foundation or when I'm done with like putting on all my powders and stuff like that. Because I do powder down my entire face, I want to bring some life back to it, and this does it. And for $10 full price, and you can always get these on sale. I get these usually on sale for $7 each. So you can't go wrong with it. I usually pick up like 3 of these during Black Friday, and that will last me throughout the year. So it's going to have to go. And the sprayer on this is beautiful. Even for a $10, $7 setting spray, the sprayer on this, the smell, the experience, everything is beautiful about that setting spray. Let me get a drink of water, and then I will roll into lip products. All right, so for lip products, if I could only use one lip product, again, I'm going to cheat because 2 formulas. But do they do different things? Maybe, because one has a tint and one really doesn't. So let's go with the Pillow Balms. So these are the Too Faced RX Pillow Balms. I do currently have 3, but the other one that I'm using is on my bedside, so I'm not going to go grab that one. But that was part of the holiday collection that came with Ice Crystal, and that one is Midnight Crystal. So it's like a darker, like not raspberry, blackberry. It's like a dark blackberry, and it actually has kind of like a blackberry kind of scent to it. It is beautiful. But I'm currently panning this one, so I have my little marks. But I have the Ice Crystal, I have the Midnight Crystal, and then I have the one in Banana. I have not opened this one yet because I'm trying to get through this one and Midnight Crystal first, and then I'll open Banana. But I love picking these up during the 21 Days of Beauty. Again, I don't want to pay full price for these, but I love the formula. These are so comfortable, so beautiful, so hydrating. And then the actual like scents are very, very nice. So like just the experience of using these when I put these on first thing in the morning as my first step, you know, when I'm doing my skincare, I just really like the whole experience that I get with these. So that's going to be my, I guess, non-colored balm. And for my colored balm products, I would go with the Summer Fridays Butter Balms, Lip Butter Balms. So right now I have Hot Cocoa and Cherry. I do have iced coffee in my cart to buy that during the VIB sale because I want that one back in my life. So I have used up 2 of these before in the past. I've used up Vanilla Beige and I've used up Iced Coffee, and then I have these 2 in my collection right now. Now I do also have the ColourPop, what is this? The Fresh Kiss Glossy Lip Balm in Watermelon. I really like this one too. So you can't go wrong with these, but I just like these better. So to the point that I am willing to pay full price for these. And they're $24 for a lip balm. But I save my budget for the things that I love. So I think that if I could only have like a treatment and a lip balm formula, these would be the 2 that I would keep around indefinitely. Absolutely. For lip liners, when did I stop? So I used up the last of my lip liners in 2022, and then I only have used and purchased ColourPop lip liners since then. So 2023, 24, and then this year, I have only had ColourPop lip liners. And I don't think that you can go wrong with them. I think the most that I've ever paid for one of these is $6, and the least amount I've ever paid for one of these is $4.90. So, and Brink, which is the one I'm panning right now, this one has already lasted a year, and I spent $4.90 on this. So they have tons of colors. You just can't go wrong with this formula, with these colors, with this product. It's not just good for the price, it is just good. I don't feel the need to experiment with anything else. Like, I almost was like, oh, well, I should really try a Charlotte Tilbury one. And I'm like, why? Why? Why would I need to spend 20 something, probably up to $30 for a lip liner when it's going to probably do the same exact thing that this is doing for $5? I can't bring myself to do it. I'd rather spend the money on something that I get more out of the experience. I'd rather spend the money on that than on something that I just need to outline my lips. That's it. That is it. So we are going with the ColourPop ones. For my mascaras, so mascaras are super personal, and I get that. For me, I also have oily eyelids, so I have a lot of issues with my eyelashes touching the top of my orbital socket and my mascaras transferring up there. So I'll end up with black smudges all along my brow bone. And I cannot do smudging. Like, I don't have smudging under my eyes. Bless the people that have smudging under their eyes. I don't have that issue. But I almost feel like I would rather have smudging under my under eyes than looking like I have just a black, like, lash caterpillar imprint on my brow bone. I cannot stand it. So I cannot deal with mascaras that smudge. I also can't deal with mascaras that flake, because once they get in my eyes water and I'm not okay. Do not give me a flaky mascara. So I used to really, really love the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara, but I almost feel like that one has been drying out so quickly that it's not worth the price. Like, why am I going to pay $20 full price for a mascara that dries up in 2 months? It's a beautiful formula. It's a beautiful look on the lashes, but it dries up so quickly. Like, even if it's a brand new tube, it will dry up so quickly. So I typically, if you guys have been seeing in my inventories, I typically only keep like 4 mascaras in my rotation. So I have 2 open at a time and then 2 in backup waiting to roll in. I do kind of count my mascaras as empties every 3 months. So I do cycle through them every 3 months, regardless of whether or not I feel like there's more in there, because after 3 months, they have served their purpose. But what I have found is that my overall favorite that I really do love is going to be from Clinique, and this is the High Impact Mascara. So this one is one that I have open right now. This has, so I like 2 different kinds of brushes. So I like the rubber spiky brushes, and then I like the natural fiber brushes like this. And what I want out of my lashes is I want a volumized base with a fluttery end. That is what I'm looking for. That is always what I'm looking for. This does that. Now, this does give me a little bit more of a natural look. So it's not necessarily going to lengthen anything. It's not going to build on itself, but it's going to just give me that beautiful full lash that just separates into something fluffy. So this does not flake, this does not smudge, this is not waterproof, so it washes off beautifully in the evening times. Like, I have no complaints, and I have actually gone through, this is number 5. So for me to go back to this mascara 5 times, it is a favorite. Now, a favorite that I just discovered, and I'm wearing it on my lashes today, and I hate that this has become a favorite, but I ended up getting this as a freebie in a Sephora order, and this is the Lancome Idole Lash. But what is in this? Because it's magic. This is magic. Now, it does have a spiky wand, and it's kind of a funky shaped wand, but it is that short rubber bristle spikiness. But I love this because it has just enough, like, it's not overly flexible, kind of like the Maybelline Sky High. That wand is so flaccid. No, it's not flaccid. It's just wiggly. This one has a little bit more strength behind it that you really can get under there and push your lashes. The Sky High is a good formula and I like it, but I just wish the wand was a little bit more rigid. We'll put it that way. This one though, I have already added it to my loves list. I will repurchase this again. Probably I would get the minis because a lot of times the minis will still last you 3 months and instead of getting the full size. But this is gorgeous. It does not flake. It does not smudge. It doesn't get all messy. The one thing that I didn't like about the Sky High is it would get a little bit messy because it was a thinner formula. This is a thick formula. It sticks to the lashes. It builds on itself. Where has this been my entire life? That is what I want to know. So this has been a new but instant favorite. And it is still hot here. So it's not like I'm just discovering this in the dead of winter when it's not humid outside. We are still in 90-something degree days right now, and that has not smudged on me at all. So the Lancome Adole Lash, new favorite, going in the books and on my favorites list. That is everything that's in this basket. Let me move this basket and we will go on to the rest of my eye products. All right, eye products. The next one we have is eyeliners, and I'm going to have to give it to Urban Decay. I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 of the Urban Decay liners. Now, I do try to always get these on sale. Sometimes they're in the 21 Days of Beauty. Sometimes they'll pop these up in sales. I know a lot of times even during Black Friday, Urban Decay will do like 30% off on their liners. But I do have Alkaline, I have Stash, Smog, Overdrive, Wild Side, Mildew, and Demolition. So Demolition is the newest one. So if I kind of line these up and show you that Demolition, oh no, how can I do this? Demolition on this side is my newest one. Mildew is also very new, but then all these other ones that I have used are nicely used. It takes forever to use these up. I've only used up one of these liners in the past, and I used up a purple in Vice, and it took me years to use up Vice, but I would say I have to give it to the Urban Decay liners. They are just so, so good. Any color that you could probably think of, you'll find it in the Urban Decay liners. The formula is beautiful. You have enough time to smudge these out a little bit, and then they do set down. So I am a huge, huge fan of the Urban Decay liners. Let me make some noise and put those down, and we'll go into my eye primers. And I would say 1 primer, 1 glitter glue. And that's really all I have in my collection right now. I have used up, so this is the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. So this is just technically it's a cream shadow, but it's pretty much, oh, apart from the dog hair stuck to my finger, but it's pretty much like my skin tone. So it works perfectly. Let me put that on my leg. It works perfectly. Now they do have soft ochre, which has a more yellow undertone on it. So if you have more of a warm or yellow undertone, probably soft ochre is going to be for you, but Painterly works for me with my cool and pink undertone. Erin, take a breath. We're allowed to breathe. So I have used up one of these before in the past. I used up my paint pot in 2023, and it took me about 1.5 years of consistent use to use up my paint pot. So I do love this. It blocks out everything. I do set this down again because I have oily lids. So I do set this down with a like cream colored shadow before I go in with my other shadows. But if you don't have trouble with your eyeshadows breaking down because of oily lids, you might not have to set this down. Just let it set down on its own. And of course you'll get the most rich pigment payoff of your shadows if you go straight onto your base instead of setting it down with a powder. But I love the paint pot. I will go back to that time and time again. And then my glitter glue is just the NYX glitter glue. Once the air bubble gets out of this one, I do like to keep a clip on it just because it keeps the product a little bit more fresh. But I am already down to there on this one. And I opened this glitter glue in March. I don't know why this one is going faster than my other ones have. I don't know if there's less product in here than there was before, or if I'm just using more of it, but it just seems kind of weird that I'm already down to there and I opened this in March. So we will see, and actually I've been tracking all of my uses on this one, so once this one is empty, I will be able to see how many uses I get on this, as I drop it on the floor. But for $6.50, I mean, it is what it is. I don't mind repurchasing that glitter glue, and that is actually the third one that I have gone through, but I'm going to pick that up before puppy dogs get interested in it, and then we are going to roll into eyeshadows. Okay, so for eyeshadows, I did this. Okay, so I was like, how do I want to explain this? So I kind of told myself if I had to pick one formula to keep, it would be my Natasha Denona. I have every single mid-size palette except for Xenon, and then I have 8 of the mini palettes. And so I feel like I would have, and I have the Metropolis, like the actual big one. So I feel like I would have every color combination that I could think of that I would want in my Natasha Denona. But if I had to pick one, well, I didn't pick one, I picked 3, but you'll kind of see where I'm going for with this. So I picked 3 of the mid-size palettes, and this is where I feel like I could get every look that I would want or need. Of course, I love color. I love playing with shifty shades. I love playing with indie shades. Like even the shadow that I have on my lids today, this is from the Muse palette from Cosmic Brushes or Cosmic Beauty. Like there's not a shade like this in Natasha Denona. There's just not. But if I was like forced, again, feet held to the fire, then this is where I'd want to go. So I think what I kind of looked at, and I immediately grabbed these. When I said to myself, if I could only keep a handful of things, what would I want? And I think the first one would be the I Need a Nude. So this one here, it is kind of peachy enough, but also cool toned that I feel like I could do eye looks out of this all the time and be okay with it. Like I could reach into the more peach shade. I could reach into this more a little bit warmer of a brown. I could go a little bit more cool tone down here. Like I could get a decent kind of feeling about my eye looks out of the I Need a Nude. Now, and the shimmers in here are beautiful because she does have a couple of her formulas in here, and there actually is not a cream to powder because the cream to powder shades are not always my favorite. So this palette does not have any cream to powder. Now, if I wanted to go a little bit more warm toned, then I did pull the Bloom palette, and because look at these shades. Now, I love warm tones, so this is right up my alley. I also really love the Sigma Quarter Rosa palette, and this one is very similar, but at this point, I would prefer this formula over Quarter Rosa. So I would definitely go for the Bloom palette. There also is no cream to powder in this, and there is a few of her formulas in here, along with some of her like ultra glitters that she's putting in her palettes nowadays. So beautiful, beautiful, like again, these pink tones, these warm tones, right up my alley. And then the last one that I pulled, as far as if I wanted something a little bit darker, a little bit deeper, I would go with the My Dream. And it's just because it has these maroons over here. Now, I did take out my Blackest Black. Yeah, I did take out the black shade, and I put, this was like a sample shade that came in a Sephora order. So it doesn't have as much product, but it's the same size pan. So I popped out the black one and I just put an extra shimmer in here because I'm never going to use a black shadow. I'm just not. So this looks a little bit different. But overall, if you think about that just being a black shade, the tones of this one are a little bit more, again, more rich, darker tones, but still these warm tones with this beautiful duochrome down here. So I think that this being a darker palette, this would kind of round out the more light, approachable shades in here. This would round it out and allow me to darken up things a little bit in these palettes. So if I had to pick one formula, it would be Natasha Denona. If I had to pick 3 palettes out of, like, if I had to run out of here and they said the only palettes that you can take with you are the ones that you can grab real quick, it would be these. So those are my top 3. And then I allowed myself to say one indie palette. So think of that. So think of it this way. The indie brands that I have Cosmic Brushes, I have Bella Beauté Bar, I have, actually let me go over my shadows. So I have Lethal, Cosmic Beauty, Odin's Eye, Glaminatrix, Bella Beauté Bar, Sydney Grace, and that's all of my indie shadows. If I could only take one palette with me, because, so if you are watching and not looking, this is the Cosmic Beauty Undergrowth palette, and I love green shades. So this palette is a no-brainer because it has every green that I would want. We have a more cool toned 2 rows and then a more warm toned 2 rows, and this is stunning. Not only that, but the quality of the shadows on Cosmic Beauty is just beautiful. Again, that's what I have on my eyes today. So that beautiful pink duochrome, that is from the Muse palette. So I feel like this is where I would want to be with my indie shadows, mainly because I feel like I could get everything else that I would want to do out of these. And then if I wanted to go for my green palette, it would be this one. So I am almost out of space on my memory card. After all the trouble that I had with my laptop this morning, now I'm running out of space. Let me empty my memory card real quick, and then I will be back because I want to talk about beauty tools and I want to talk about nail polishes, and then I will wrap this video up. All right, so while I was formatting my memory card, I got a popsicle. So let me, even though it's pineapple and not banana, I don't know if they make banana popsicles, but they should. But let me finish my popsicle and then I will get into a only keep one on my beauty tools and then also nail polish. Whew, and now I have brain freeze. All right, so a beauty tool that if I could only keep one. So I'm going to say my DSMD shop sponges. So I'm going to show you a new one because I do repurchase these all the time. These are by far the best sponges that I have found. Number one, not only for the quality and the amount of times I can wash them and how long they last, but also the cut. So of course they do get bigger. Let me just grab my other one. So this is the one that I used today. So it is all nice and squishy versus this one's brand new out of the package. But what I love is they have this flat side. So they have the normal, teardrop shape, but you do have this wonderful flat side, which comes in very handy for the way that I like to do my makeup. So these sponges are constant repurchases. I usually try to replace my sponges every 6 months or so. And like I said, they wash really well, they handle really well, they blend products beautifully. So I use my sponges for foundation, concealer, my cream products, so my blush and my bronzer, and then I also use it for powder to set, and then I use the flat side to press in my setting spray. So I use my beauty sponges for a lot of different things. As far as like brushes, I have such a mishmash of brushes back there. I would be curious to try out the face brushes from Singe just because I do like the eye brushes that I have. I actually use the eye brushes from Singe more than a lot of other things. The other brush brand that I really enjoy is the Nakia Joy brushes. So those two, but I think the Nakia Joy brushes, she uses natural hair, which I really do like natural hair brushes. Singe Beauty uses synthetic bristles that are made to mimic natural hair. So again, just depending on what you want to look at. And then, like I said, the last thing that I kind of wanted to mention, just because I have found a new appreciation for it, and that is through my nail polish, and that is the I Love Nail Polish brand. So how do I want to hold up a little smattering of my different polishes that I have here, but I do have two different shades on my nails today. I just kind of did a pattern of every other nail in a different color, but I have fallen in love with the jelly formula, and actually these four are jelly formulas. So the one in Bear Hug is a jelly, but it has like a brown sparkle, like a brown gold sparkle. And this one is beautiful. And then these are their like flakies. And in my buys and buys, you guys will see that I actually made another order from I Love Nail Polish. And actually all three of these are new to my collection. So these are the jelly formula, but these have the flakies in them. So like the holographic flakies. And these are gorgeous. I love the jelly formula because it is so forgiving and beautiful. You do 2 coats, and because the flakies kind of end up showing through the different layers, it adds a dimension to your nails that you kind of see some of the other flakies in the layer underneath, and so it just looks like they have more depth to them. And the jelly polishes, they also dry really quickly. Like, I love these. Love, love, love these. So I almost feel like I could get rid of all of my Holo Taco polishes and not be sad about it at all, and just be totally cool with my I Love Nail Polish. I also feel like the collections they come out with are varied, and like there's going to be something in there for everyone. And it just, the collection that I just purchased from was one of their like rain collections. Like they had done one before, and I think these are, I don't know if these are from the new collection or the old collection, but there's like Dark Roast, Misty, and Drizzle. So it's kind of like that, like misty, rainy, like mountain type of vibe with these jellies with the flakies in them, and they are stunning. And actually, the original shade that I got last year, which was Pitter Patter, Pitter Patter was from their Rain collection last year, and then they did another Rain collection this year, and I believe these polishes are from that. When I do my buys and buys, I'll let you guys know which polishes are from which collection, but I mean, they're all still available, so they are gorgeous. But yes, I wore Drizzle the other day. I have Misty on my nails now, and then Dark Roast, I have already worn this one, and then Bear Hug I usually wear more during the winter time, so this one will roll back around during winter time. And then this one here is in Sidekick, this like beautiful iridescent blue. I have not worn this one this year, but this one I like more during the summertime just because it's more of that like shell kind of like water blue type of shade. And so this one I probably should have worn this summer, but I did not. I still have time though. And especially with it being September and the birthstone being sapphire, maybe I should wear this in September. So I'll put this one out to wear this one as well. But that is my only use one formula because I'm not going to just keep one nail polish. I'm sorry. But as far as one formula or one brand of nail polish, I would definitely go with the I Love nail polish. And that is also coming from my Mooncat shot or polishes. I do like my Mooncat ones, but I am going to go back to this jelly formula time and time again. But that is all I have to share with you guys for my if I could only keep one, even though I cheated throughout the entire process. But it's kind of like if I could only keep one product for each step that I have in my process that I do my makeup. So even though I have 3 concealers, it's because each of them serves a different purpose. I have 3 brow products, but each one of those serves a different purpose. So you guys understand that I'm not just going to keep one brow product because I'm not going to find the one brow product that does all 3. I'm not. It is what it is. But thank you so much for the video idea. I appreciate you guys. And if you guys have any other ideas or any other things that you want to see from me, drop them down below and let me know. I am always open to sprinkling in some of your ideas. You guys have actually really good ideas. And the comment that I saw was from a video, I think my Project Pan back in May. And the person had asked, you know, now that you are 10 years past being 30, which I'm going to be about 11 years past being 30. But now that it's been a decade since I've been 30, what would I go back and tell 30-year-old me? And I feel like that's really interesting because 30-year-old me and 40-year-old me are in 2 different situations. The past 10 years have been very different situations. So I almost want to do a chatty get ready with me like around maybe for my birthday month to kind of be like, hey, I'm 41 now. Let's look over the last decade. So if you guys have any other questions to kind of tack on to that, like different things, like I would talk about school because I was just getting out of school at 30. We had bought our house. I started working in my profession. Like I started actually like being conscious about money and retirement at that point in time. But if you guys have any particular questions about kind of like, okay, what do you tell your 30-year-old self? Like what recommendations, suggestions, life lessons would I pass on to younger Erin at 30? If you guys have any other questions that kind of tack onto that, let me know just so I can kind of lead my conversation and answer some of y'all's questions as well. But otherwise, I am going to go. I am going to encourage you guys to do all of the YouTube things. Make sure to hit a thumbs up on this video. Let me know that you guys are enjoying my content. And then of course, if you are new or lurking, go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button. I do conscious consumerism, project panning, using what you have. I have a beauty budget. I do accountability type of stuff on this channel, along with sometimes my puppy dogs do sprinkle themselves in. So if that seems interesting to you, stick around, hit that button. And then of course, drop me that comment down below. Let me know how you guys are doing, or let me know what your one product that you would keep out of a particular category. Like whatever your favorite category is, what would be that one thing that you would keep? So let me know what your one thing is. And then like I said, I have Friday off. So I'm going to be able to film on Friday for my buys and buys. So you'll see that video up next. That actually will probably go up on my birthday. So by the time you guys see my next video, I will be 41 years old. So I appreciate all of the early birthday wishes from you guys. You guys are absolutely fabulous. I love each and every one of you guys for hanging out with me. And like I said, I'm going to go so I can edit this video and spend some time with the pups today before I go back to work tomorrow. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. I am going to wish you all a beautiful day, and I'm going to catch you in my next one.